No Tyler?
I need a loser. I've gotta think of a loser for the end of tonight. He's gotta be weak and he's gotta be gay and he's gotta have no chance in the fight. I need a loser. I gotta think of a loser before we collide. It might be Orr and it might be Tipool and they might be no longer alive. Longer alive.
I got it.
Rice bucket summer, got his goggle on the side of the crib. Porch boards, pour more warmth than the moles I hit. Rain pitter, patter, patch patterns in the flaked off red. People build to our field trip in the dead. Back door, a cracked jaw, rushed in, singing the blues. Spider web, mezzanine, the kitchen strangers are new. Mail slot, coffin out coupons, rain perfume blooms. Roof leaks, lead streak, drips, strips in the moon. That chip coat talking to me, mocking me, good. Every curl of that prime reminds me of time as it should. Red layer of ruin, more gray, lay in between. If we could, if we did, I know you know what I mean. Mud print, hieroglyphs, track back where we stood. Two ghost toast, cheap first class on cheap wood. Pass yourself around more, Olympic track torch. While I watch the paint peel off the back porch. Watch the paint peel off the back porch. Shelter turning into just another sad corpse. Shingles, little gravestones now where the rain treads. You took everything, left me with nothing but the blame. And kitchen life slicks like you're thinking about leaving me too. Motivation get lost by believing in you. Floorboards complaining the places we used to fuck. The great magnet braced me for this, but you're out of luck.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to See, I almost did Out Loud Thoughts. God damn it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to LoserCast, episode 17. Rolling right along. New intro had a song released by CG Scumlord, Young Clippa, friend of the channel, friend of Out Loud Thoughts. He'll be on here at some point. But
So he's like the white version of Eric July.
Literally, that's the guy who went to the warehouse that I mentioned before that Eric July called the cops on and shit, and like got arrested and stuff for like trolling Eric July.
They have a beef, Young Clippa versus Young Rippa.
That's yes, it is a fun little spurg out that happened on the internet that has been hilarious to get to know Clippa during the whole thing, because the guy's a blast. Great song, by the way.
Yeah, just replace the intro with that one. Like, we don't need two intros.
Well,
mine is, whatever, but that one kicks ass.
It is good. I want to get some kind of video made for that one too, better than what I did there. I just did that in literally 15 minutes before the show. I was like, I need to do something to make this look good for the stream, because he just uploaded it with that image in the middle as the thing. So
yeah,
I'm gonna send him that video I did and do something better for it. Kind of like what I was doing with yours with the Vietnam thing when you did some of your covers. I would post like
Oh yeah.
almost like pseudo music videos for them by doing like backdrops with the little TVs and stuff. That was kind of my style I was doing for a bit. But yes, fun stuff. People in the internet world that I am friends with that I was like, oh, this is cool, and was well made. So wanted to give that a spotlight. And then we've got bunch of fucking crazy shit going on. Tyler might be in later for those who are wondering. He let us know in the chat and everything. So
Yeah, he's becoming Adam Nutter. I don't really like that.
yeah, he's got a family and life, and I get it.
Not being on the show plus not being funny. I mean, that's pretty egregious. Adam doesn't have even that excuse. Like Tyler, I mean, he's got like a family, but like I'm pretty sure his kids are like adults now, so I don't know if I buy that excuse. Adam doesn't even have a family, I don't think, right? So he has no excuse. Wait, does Adam
have no
maybe
family, no
Adam might
excuses.
have a kid, actually. Sorry, Adam, I don't even remember. I think he might actually.
I've been seriously lacking on my output of tie-dye shirts. I have all this tie-dye equipment, and I have done literally just some test shirts for myself. So I need to do more.
Yeah.
Been a whole ordeal, but it's mainly because I've been working 7 days a fucking week. Now I finally have days off. I have to go back to work tonight, so that's never fun.
Fun.
We've got we've had a hell of a last week, and I'll bring up the poll and everything. Although I'm pretty sure the McDonald's
poll? We don't wanna
CEO
see
was
that.
running away with it last I checked.
Everyone, bring out your polls.
Last I saw, it only had one vote. Last I saw, so I don't know. You mean
I
people are
looked
actually
at it
voting in these polls? What?
It's it's always in the last like day because I always retweet it and put it in Discords and stuff. So
Yeah.
that always helps. But
This week we have some options from some people who are doing some loserish things this week.
this whole last
Yes.
fucking week, we could all bring 3 picks to the table. I feel like if we really wanted to, with all the horse shit.
There'd probably be
that's been going on.
overlap, but yeah.
Yes, definitely.
All right, who won this poll here?
I'm
Show
bringing
us
it
your
up.
poll, homo.
I know I was reading chat. Sorry.
How big is it? The fact that it's
Objects
a
on screen may
pie
appear
chart
bigger.
is a little weird. It's in the shape of a pie and not a bar. It's a little weird. Broseph dying over there.
I know, right? Took a dab before I came over here, and
Yeah. Are you okay, bro? Somebody like holding you in their garage right now? Like, what's happening?
oh, I moved my shit into a different room. This is
All right.
where I keep my eBay stuff. So,
Sounds
hey,
good.
if you see anything you like, it's for sale.
Yeah, what's that jersey behind you? Is that a hockey jersey?
Oh no, that's a woman's jacket. It's wool.
Ooh, will it look good on me?
What? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You should buy it.
I don't know. I'll consider it.
We have got McDonald's CEO as a runaway winner here. I think that makes it 2 in a
Saw
week
that. That was
for
nuts.
Toad.
You motherfucker. You didn't put in Chris Chan in there.
Oh, did I fucking forget Christian?
Wait, what?
Oh, motherfucker. I fucked over. Wait, what did I do? Did I save
All right,
one
well,
twice? I
You
made a
gotta
list
add
twice.
Chris Chan
during
this
the
week, then I
show.
guess, or was Chris Chan the previous week? I don't
He was the
remember.
previous week.
Well, I'm confused. What did I do wrong here? Because I have 5 picks.
No, I think Chris Chan was the previous week up against Mr. Hands. And,
I don't think anyone
No, I
nominated.
wasn't,
No,
Dave
no,
Rubin
I wasn't
this
here
week.
for Mr. Hands.
No, he wasn't
Oh.
here for the Mr. Hands episode, so I definitely
fuck.
fucked something up here, but I'm trying to figure out how.
Oh,
Because
I don't think anyone did Dave
Rubin.
Rubin last week.
he wasn't gonna beat Chris.
Did we put maybe I put Dave Rubin as an honorary pick, or I watched a video and I thought we picked Dave Rubin. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
All
have
right,
no idea.
we're gonna put an extra
Put Chris
pick
Chan in this week's then.
in this week. So
Yeah.
We're gonna add Chris Chan because
We
Chris
have
Chan
to-
would have been a heavy contender.
McDonald's CEO Chris Jew, I believe is that guy's name. He won.
God,
Yeah.
for fuck's sakes. I
Chris,
put McDonald's
juice
CEO
stand.
because I figured everybody would know who it was. I was
Yeah.
like,
And he might not be a loser anymore because what that video did is it caused all the other fast
Yeah.
food chains to do the same thing, and it caused everybody to go out and buy that burger.
It was actually genius marketing.
Yeah.
So how was the burger?
Unfortunately.
Who tried it?
I tried it before he even did that. I literally got it on day one, so I didn't even know. I didn't know.
That's
anything
right.
was
That's
gonna
right. We had
happen.
this discussion.
Well, because, dude, my beef, pun intended, with McDonald's has I like the quarter pounders, man, the double quarter pounder. My beef
Yeah.
with the Big Mac was always the flavor profile is good, it makes sense, but there's like no fucking beef on it. The extra bread makes no sense. And that
Yep.
plus the shredded lettuce slides all over the place. No structural integrity. I'm like, this burger sucks. Then they're like, oh, by the way, we're going to make a burger that's the same flavor profile as that, but it's basically a double quarter pounder's worth of beef. I'm like, that's what you should have done all along.
That's
I have-
perfect.
I have to
Exactly.
try this right away. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Just it was still kind of messy because the shredded lettuce still fucks it up, but
Hell yeah. I've had the same complaints about McDonald's shit. I'm like, just make them bigger, which apparently in other countries they do.
yeah.
yeah,
well, I
we
think
have the
that- yeah.
Denali Mac here.
Yeah, it used to be the McKinley Mac, which they did have a bigger patty for
Oh.
when it was the McKinley Mac, and then
Oh,
they
went
made it
woke?
like
Aw.
yeah, they went woke and they called it the Denali Mac. They changed it up. Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
real.
Kenny.
I like it being the Denali Mac. I do not like it being called McKinley. I think it's retarded.
You don't like imperialist presidents who got assassinated?
Yes, for obvious reasons, I'm going to refer to it as the Denali Mac.
All right.
And by the way, I just want to address someone in the chat. $80 or best offer.
Oh, all right. For that ladies' jacket.
Pressure cooker.
Pressure.
Pressure cooker.
This is
Oh,
fucking
Yeah, they're
gross
asking about the pressure cooker.
ooh. I didn't even see. Dude, I would worry about that because that person's probably trying to build a bomb.
No, or grow mushrooms. That's what I did.
You got Ted K in the chat over here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Ted K, the Unabomber.
Yeah.
My brain is
You second guessed yourself.
yeah, I'm
Wait.
like, wait, that's not right. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Do I have my domestic terrorist correct?
I
Not
have his-
Kaczynski, the Unabomber.
Dude, I have his books. I have his manifesto. I should get him right.
It's that one guy who plays poker.
Dude, when I bought
yeah.
his books, I bought his manifesto on Amazon, and at the same time, I bought like Drano and a lead pipe, just to see what they would do. Nothing happened to me.
Shall we get into this week of fucking depravity and retardedness? Because there is a lot to get into.
Yes.
Why don't we start with? You know what? Why don't we do it this way? Why don't we start with Toad?
Okay. I'm gonna give you probably one of the people that you probably thought was gonna come up with this. Maybe not. I don't know. We're going to go with. Let me get the first. We're gonna start with Faceless's tweet about this. I'm going with Jake Lang. This
God
basically-
damn it.
This basically just happened today or yesterday. So he's been a guy who's been like praised in the MAGA community because he was one of the January Sixers. He went to prison and whatever, and now it has come out that he is a pedophile groomer.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, Italy beating the U.S. 5-0. Dude, who's on Italy's team? I have no idea. This is baseball, I assume. Dude, I don't know. Like, I know that Italy must have fucking. I don't know what's that pitcher's name. There's that one pitcher I always like to say his name, and I can't remember his fucking name right now. I'm like, that guy's probably Italian. He must be on their team. Fucking. How do I not remember his name now? I think there were actually two. There were like two Italian named pitchers who were like, all right, but yeah, I don't know, dude. Maybe Roman Anthony is playing for them. did he switch sides and go to Italy? I have no idea, but yeah, I have no idea how that's happened. I would imagine that Italy's baseball team is not good. So yeah, U.S. I assume the U.S. is like the best. Well, maybe not the best, but it's like you would assume it's got to be like the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. Maybe like
Japanese.
Mexico, Venezuela. Yeah, Japan might be good. I don't know. Those teams, yes. Italy, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Unless, again, you can have a situation where like there have been players that are American that just go fuck that, and they're playing for like other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I was just about to say,
the
yeah.
entire Israel team. None of those guys are none of those guys are actually from Israel. They're all just Jews, and they're like, we're playing for Israel now, and they lost like immediately. In fact, they got
That's so
eliminated
fucking
by
funny.
Venezuela. In fact,
Oh no.
Venezuela getting some revenge for the regime change.
Yeah.
You're gonna overthrow Maduro. Well, we're gonna embarrass your baseball team.
We're gonna
There you
take
go.
everything from you, fucking sports wise.
Yeah, we're gonna eliminate you from the World Baseball Classic.
You stole our president.
But they won like 10-3. It was an embarrassing result.
Damn.
One of the teams got
Damn.
mercy ruled the
You
other
could
day.
say they got holocausted.
Ooh. Yeah, there was a mercy rule the other day, and it wasn't Israel did not get mercy ruled. I think it was Brazil got mercy ruled by one of the other teams, which I
Yeah.
think is either 15 or 16-0. The game just ends if a team has a lead like that. The mercy rule.
But you're saying it didn't happen to Israel, so
No, it did not.
so you're saying that everyone just enjoyed it happening so much that they're just like, let's let this happen.
I guess.
Let's let them have one, fellas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't typically pay attention to the World Baseball Classic, but what
Me
I do
neither.
know is the Red Sox players that are in it right now are all doing really well, and they're all on different teams. Like Roman Anthony had a huge home run the other day for the U.S. Jaron Duran is playing for Mexico, and he's like ripping the cover off the ball, and then and he's making good fielding plays. And then Yoshida, who everybody's made fun of. Because he's just not been healthy. He's been hurt. And the Red Sox fan base is like, get rid of this guy. He sucks. He can't do anything. I'm like, dude, when he was healthy, he was good. And he's like ripping it right now for, I think he must be on Japan, right? I assume. Probably. I assume he's on the Japanese.
No, he's also on Israel's team.
Oh. Whatever he's doing well right now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's what people tune into. They tune into this to turn for this show to turn into Toadstool Sports over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to know how the Japanese people are doing in baseball.
Yeah, I was about to talk about pedophiles, man, and now you've derailed me.
So let's combine the two. What about Japanese pedophiles?
Do they exist?
no.
Is everybody in Japan a pedophile because everybody is below a certain height?
Yeah,
And their
yeah.
women all look like young girls anyway, so they might
Yeah.
all be pedophiles.
Exactly. There's a certain so over time human species what occurs to humans over time is what is called the domestication syndrome, and people grow, basically their physiology grows more and more infantile, and out of all of the, some would argue with this terminology, but human races, the Chinese, the Asians are the most the most down the road of that domestication syndrome, i.e. they have the most what you would call infantile features in their in adults of their race. But yeah, it's like basically like neot, they call it neoteny, I believe, which is not infantilization, but also yes. That's
Yeah, anybody who watches anime is a pedo.
yeah.
I actively have always I've made this argument on Outlawed Thoughts multiple times. Not an anime watcher, not a fan of it. I find the whole thing to be the creation of a broken people.
Oh yeah, the one dude, dude, I went to a tech school, so you'd think that like a lot of people would be into anime, but it was really just this one guy. Freshman year, he lived across the hall from me. He was the only one of us who didn't have a roommate, which was very, very good for that roommate, because his roommate was supposed to be coming from like Dubai or something and couldn't get his visa, so that kid never showed up. And that kid doesn't know like how lucky he got with that, like not being able to enter the U.S. or whatever.
Dodged a bullet.
Yeah, because he would have had to room with this guy who was this dude who was this rich asshole from Greenwich, Connecticut. He was morbidly obese, an anime watcher, and you could hear him masturbating like in his room, like through the door, basically. Yeah. he was like this stuck up like asshole, and he'd come in and be like, "Oh, you're doing your physics homework right now. You're not done with that yet." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, asshole."
So I'm assuming we didn't get to go through these texts yet.
No,
right?
we haven't gone through it yet. So
No,
Jake,
we've been talking about pedophiles and jacking
I
people.
apologize, by the way. I had a phone call that I had to grab real quick because I had to pay for a pizza.
oh.
Literally, by the way, paying for a cheese, pepperoni, and olive pizza.
All right. I mean, I'd eat it, I suppose. Jake Lang, by the way, yes, he is a January 6er. He's been in prison for January 6th, and he's not going to go to prison for these chat messages in which he was attempting to groom, it appears, a girl who he thought was 15, although it turned out that it was like a sting operation or something like that. I don't know exactly. The person was catfishing him, basically, but
Right.
he thought that it was a 15-year-old girl. And then I will also send the next I have his excuse for it in this next tweet here, which is from him himself. But if you read there, like that last part of the message is really like the worst part of it there.
Yeah.
How old are you, baby? Unless you're under 16, I don't care. And then she says, I'm 15, or the person pretending to be her.
Right.
I'm 15, sends a picture. And, later he made an excuse. Oh, well, she didn't look that age in the picture. And then he basically right here, he says, when do you turn 16? I won't get in trouble if that's what you're worried about. I can keep a secret. So now, baby, I'll just wait 6 months for you to become 16, and then you're legal in whatever
What
state
state
I'm in.
do you live in?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
When you see that text come through, oof.
He's very libertarian, in fact.
Uh,
He's like, this stupid age of consent, not letting us see each other.
It's not pedophilia, it's a phebophilia.
Exactly.
In the news for doing tons of shit. Yesterday, he was driving around my city for some reason, humping a goat in the back of a van. I wish I was kidding. That's exactly what this weird fuck was doing. Jake's not interested in goats. As it turns out, he's interested in young underage women. A friend of mine, Arlen, aka the Zerg, does underage things. Turns out Jake Lang was stupid enough to give him his number and creepy enough to interact with him, thinking that he was a 15-year-old girl. They started working on this back in November when they followed Jake Lang's account. Jake Lang reached out and said, "You coming to my next protest in Texas?" Jake immediately goes for the phone number. Now I want to make it apparent that these profiles are very clearly belonging to high school students. I obviously can't show you the profile because that would blow the entire operation, but they always have some sort of high school and some throwback to being in high school. But it gets worse. Jake insisted to move it to text message conversation. He said, "I have too many DMs. Text only, sweetie." Decoy gives phone number in this message. Jake gets chatty. "How old are you, by the way?" the decoy asks. He says, "I turned 30, honey." "Why are you up so late, young lady?" "How old are you, baby? Unless you are under 18, I don't care." The decoy says, "I'm 15," and sends a selfie. And he sends possibly the creepiest message a 30-year-old grown fucking man could send to a 15-year-old. He says, "When do you turn 16? The decoy then says, "In 6 months I turn 16.
I would argue it's not the
I won't
creepiness,
get you in trouble
but-
if that's what you're worried about. I can keep a secret." Jake hearts this message, and he takes it a step further. "What state do you live in? I can't see you till you're 16. Jake, you're 30. Is this crazy right-wing influencer thing going so poorly for you
All right.
that you have to try fucking children? Or are you just a pedophile, bro?
Oh, man. Yeah, and, dude, that almost felt like... like Chris Hansen. like we're watching To Catch a Predator. The decoy said this. "Hey, why don't you take a seat here? I have the text messages right here. I got the chat right here. It says that I want to blank your blank when you turn 16, baby."
yeah,
And
and
then,
then I
yes.
see his
I can't
messages-
see you till I turn 16.
Yeah,
I see you shared his messages to Alex Rosen here.
I did. So he was texting Alex Rosen, who is a known pedophile fighter. Is that what we should call him? I don't know.
Yeah,
Dude,
Sting guy.
Some people had issues with Alex Rosen.
Because he's Jewish.
He follows me, by the way. He quote tweeted Jake a couple of times here, but I thought Alex was being sarcastic. He quote tweeted these screenshots that basically said like, like, oh yeah, that'll clear things up or whatever. And everybody got mad at him, like, dude, aren't you supposed to be fighting for children? I'm like, isn't he being sarcastic? Like, I thought Alex was being sarcastic, so I don't know. I'm not gonna go after Alex for that.
Yeah.
But yes. So Jake basically, in these tweets with Alex, he basically, Alex was just asking him questions. His excuse was basically, I thought she was lying about her age. She was clearly like 25 in that picture, and I wanted her to model bikinis or something like that. That was his excuse in here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a bunch of horse shit he's got going on.
There's the picture, by the way.
Yeah. Yep, he's cooked. Ladies and gentlemen, he's deep fried.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him.
Yeah,
Ladies and
except
gentlemen, we got him.
he will not suffer any legal consequences from this, however. which
No,
he
but
did
as
for
far
January
as like
6th, but-
court of public opinion goes.
Right. That's what we need. The court of public opinion, man. Social ostracization. Let's go.
Yep. Photographers tend to repeat us. Photographers watch anime. You heard it here
Oh,
first.
I thought Charles was saying that because I tweeted out about being a photographer earlier
I do
today.
want it on record. I do watch anime and I'm not a pedophile. My Zimbabwean friend who started watching anime in Zimbabwe because,
he's a pedophile.
Yeah, right. He's a pedophile. I'm just being a good friend.
he's the pet. No, it's like it's very funny the mix of like, I guess Western art they got there. It's like some things he presents to me like as if it's completely normal, and then some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, totally. And then some stuff he's like, remember this song? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, yeah, they're Australian. I was like, yeah.
I also just realized what Eldon's shirt is right now.
Yeah.
I like that. But yes, Ashton
Thank
Kutcher, you guys know he's a murderer, right? In
I
addition to, I guess, being a pedophile. But there's
I
that
know
weird
some of that story, but also one of the ones he's not mentioning here, even more fucked than the Hillary Duff is. Go look up the interview of him with Mila Kunis.
Yeah, on
And-
70s show.
Well, they were dating on that show when she was probably
Well, right,
15,
but there's a clip of him basically laughing about it.
Although I guess what was he? He was probably 18, 19, I don't know, but still.
Yeah,
weird.
he was old enough to know better. Like,
Now they're married.
I
yeah.
was gonna
Isn't
say
that kind
like
of the definition of grooming, though?
And then Hyde got
Yeah, but
his
the
shit
the
going
murder
on.
thing though, he was like supposed to go on a date with some chick, and his story is that he showed up to pick her up. She didn't answer her door. He looked into her apartment or house or whatever and saw what he thought was wine spilled on the floor, and then just left. And it turned out she was dead in there on the floor. I'm like, yeah, that story doesn't check out. You haven't heard
The
that
fuck?
story?
No, I had heard it before, like on like Reddit boards and stuff, but never really like read into it.
wine on the floor. Oh shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I gotta go.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Just cuts to him running down
The
the
fuck?
street.
Scooby-Doo runs out of there.
Yeah. So I think he probably murdered her, but I don't know. We're not going to be able to prove it, really.
Dude,
Just
there's
like
so
do a
many
deep dive right now.
celebrities- There's
Yeah.
so many celebrities that have offed people that people still
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know about.
William Shatner drowned his wife.
Shatner's a very famous one that a lot of people don't know about. Matthew Broderick is one. Matthew
yeah.
Broderick.
I don't know about that. Don't
I know
ruin
about that
Ferris
one.
Bueller and War Games for me.
Oh, there's a reason he hasn't been in anything since.
So Matthew Broderick
He was
ran
the
down.
cable guy.
Matthew Broderick got in a wreck with a woman and her kid, and killed both of them.
Yeah.
I did hear
And
about that.
Left
Yep.
like the father with like crippling depression and like lifelong horrible shit. Yeah, it's like not a good situation.
At least that wasn't intentional. But yeah, William Shatner.
Oh, what's the
Shatner,
tranny one?
what trainer
The
one?
fucking Jenner. Kris
Oh,
Jenner.
Bruce Jenner, yeah, hit somebody with his car. Yeah, we all know
Yeah,
that.
vehicular
South Park
manslaughter.
made fun of it many times.
Oh, yeah.
Like vaporized the two people. Like
but-
one of them got like powder coated. Like
Yeah, and William Shatner's story, like he claims that he wasn't home or something, and his wife was found dead in the pool, but she had a broken neck, and she also
Yeah.
didn't know how to swim. So it's
I'm
like, what the fuck
forgetting the
happened there?
story, but another very famous one. I think it was Dustin Hoffman, maybe, or one of them. But there's a story of a celebrity whose wife was killed by falling off of a boat and
No,
like
that's
drowning.
no, you're
And,
talking about Natalie Wood. Unless
Natalie
there might,
Wood,
there
that's
might be
it.
multiple stories.
James, yeah.
Yeah,
It was Natalie Wood. The actors on the boat with her were Robert Wagner and Christopher
Robert
Walken.
Wagner and
Christopher
Christopher Walken.
Walken.
Christopher
Yep.
Walken was who I was thinking of. Yeah,
People think that. Well, I don't think she wasn't either of their wives or whatever, but they were on the boat, like whatever. I think Robert Wagner. The consensus, I think, is that Robert Wagner probably killed her, and then nobody talked about it after that. But I really don't
I
know.
laughed about it because when I watched that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie that Tarantino did recently,
Yeah, I've seen
the
it.
character, Brad Pitt's character in the movie, like they're all talking about how he might have shot his wife with a harpoon gun on a boating trip when she was like
Yeah.
arguing with him. And when I saw that, I immediately went, "Oh, this is Tarantino literally talking about that without talking about that."
Yeah,
Like this is
Tarantino is
clearly
definitely, a freak. Like he's like, oh, I'm gonna take over from dusk till dawn and like write in. Oh yeah, Salma Hayek is gonna like let me drink tequila off of her foot. I'm like,
Listen,
you're a fucking freak.
I will
dude.
defend his. I will defend him licking those feet to the day he dies. The guy
won't.
had the opportunity to do that, and he did it.
That
Now,
movie's terrible too. It's like the
From Dusk Till
transition-
Dawn is not terrible.
the
Fuck
transi-
you and the horse you rode in on.
The transition is like so like not seamless. It's horrible.
There's
That movie-
there's trannies in there.
Yeah.
Yes, that movie is
Training
bad in all the
vampires.
ways it's supposed to be bad. It's not a clean movie. It's a,
I mean,
it's a
it's
grindhouse.
Rodriguez, and I like a lot of Rodriguez's stuff, but not that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I dig it. I like the style of that, like kind of grungy, like just like made on a budget look. Like
So
I
do
like
I.
a lot of B movies. So
So do I, but not that one.
I like it.
I like fucking Planet Terror, but I don't like that.
Planet
one.
Terror is great too. There's very few Tarantino movies or Tarantino involved films that I actually dislike. That he's one of the few people I like. Generally like most of the stuff he's done.
Oh,
I
people get
do
super
also
mad
think
because
he's
I do
stolen
not.
plenty, and I think he's copped from other people and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
but it's still good.
I think
Like,
Kill Bill is like total stupidity and just all, no substance, just all style. I think it's dumb.
yeah, out of all his films, Kill Bill's probably the thing I watched and rewatched the least.
I have an issue with. I don't think that he uses music particularly well. If that makes sense, I think he uses it in a very annoying way. I
It's
don't know
very
how-
in your face.
I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it's just like
It's very obvious. I
think
would
it's-
argue,
but I
that's
still
how
like
would
Reservoir
say it.
Dogs, even though I don't like the use
Oh, yeah.
of fucking Stuck in the Middle with You. I don't even like that scene, but I like that movie.
Oh,
I
I like Stuck in the Middle with You.
like
there.
Pulp Fiction and I like Jackie Brown, but I don't really like any of his other shit.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to do.
Is that the name of the song? I thought it was Stuck in the Middle with Jews.
Well, that too.
That'd be a fun one to go watch.
Mr. Non-White.
Mr. All right, well, that was our little escapade down Tarantino lane.
Yeah, we got to it with actors who are murderers, and then I was gonna also mention Ted Kennedy murdered.
Oh yeah, well, fucking.
Why do
yeah.
I not remember her name? Well, not murdered,
'Cause
but
she-
drove his vehicle into the water off of Martha's Vineyard and then left her there to die. Fuck him.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a wild one, man. That's people like. I think that one's one of those ones that just kind of gets brushed under the radar and forgotten about.
Oh, yeah.
Chappaquiddick. That was
Yeah,
what it was.
Chappaquiddick, and then it's like, no, he's a congressman. He'll always be a congressman from Massachusetts until
By the
he
way,
died, which is
Charles
exactly what
here.
happened.
There's a lot of people out there who poo-pooed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I
As
don't think
somebody
it's
who
not his worst movie. I'll tell you that.
my recommendation to anybody who disliked that movie is to go listen to the interview that he did, one long form interview where he's talking about the making of that film before you watch it, because he doesn't spoil anything in it on purpose, and then go read or listen to the audiobook of Chaos Tom O'Neill's book, which was why he made that movie.
Yeah,
Because
which
he
is
was
about the
reading
Manson family.
Right. He was reading Chaos and reading Manson, and he was like, what if I tweaked history a bit?
Right,
And
so,
like,
yeah, it's
you know,
revisionist history, but of course,
yeah,
Hollywood,
it's absolutely
yeah,
revisionist.
Hollywood loved it because it had a lot to do with Hollywood. It had to do with Sharon Tate, who was the most
Yes.
famous victim of the Mansons because she was an actress, and then like it has.
But even like my grandmother, who
other
was around
Hollywood
during that
ties.
time period, she watched that movie and was like, "This is really like cool. Like every piece and every scene in that movie looks like old California.
Yeah.
Like it looks like the thing."
Sharon Tate, and I'm pretty sure it's Margot Robbie, isn't it? If I remember
Mhm.
correctly.
Yeah, and she does a great job in that. And there's great foot scenes in it. If you want to see Margot Robbie's feet, great foot scenes. Quentin Tarantino.
I prefer her titties, so I'll watch Wolf of Wall Street. But yeah.
Yeah, oh fucking Jesus Christ! Wolf of Wall Street, Margot Robbie is the peak Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into some other losers here. So we've got, what was your pick there? I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Jake Lang.
Jake Lang. Okay. And next up we've got, let's do Broseph next, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Mine is one we're all thinking about. It's been on all of our minds. Press and matter.
Is he a homosexual?
Potentially. No. Dave Smith for quitting the Legion of Skanks.
No. Damn it.
So I did see this coming. I thought somebody would pick him, and if not, I was gonna make this an honorary pick.
No.
So I'm gonna be the first guy to say this publicly. I think this is a work. Now I'm gonna explain my reasoning here.
What do you
And
mean?
this is not the shit. Now
You think it's not real?
I don't think it's real. I think the whole thing's a fucking. I think it's all facade. I think it's all we're being toyed with.
Well, because I could see it. Well, but here's the thing. So everybody knows Dave is like the most likely to leave because it's like Dave is the family
That's
man.
why this works.
Even though all three of the Skanks guys are fathers, but yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, yeah, Dave's like, he's like the family guy, so he'd be the one to leave. Oh, he's
Well, because he cares about raising his kids,
Well, right, yeah, that and he's like serious because he's in like the political.
Robbie the
sphere and
Fire
whatever.
refused to give Sumo Dog a shout out.
What?
That mother.
Shout out Drew, shout out Sumo Dog, shout out Squeeze.
By the way, I'm gonna be seeing Dave and Robbie, I think, live in like 2 weeks. So
Tell him to shout out Sumo Dog or else.
Yeah.
last time I saw them both, I didn't
Bring
get
a
to talk
machete.
to Dave, though.
Bring him.
Last time I saw them at the same venue, I only got to talk to Robbie though, and not Dave. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Dude, it's wild, and I think it's purely because I'm from Alaska, and I know, like, I abuse the fuck out of my ability to weasel into conversations. So I will, if I want to talk to somebody, you better bet I'm gonna have a conversation with that person before the end of, like.
Oh, well,
Dave,
for me, I think Dave wasn't. I think Dave was doing 2 shows that night, and I went to the first one. So I think Dave was like having to turn over and do the next show.
that's
right
different,
away.
yeah.
But
it's
Robbie
more of
was
a-
Robbie was out there working the merch table, so I talked to
Yeah.
him. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, you sometimes you see those crowds build up around Dave, and there's clearly like 3/4 of the crowd that'll be there is all people who are just standing around listening and not willing to say anything. And I will just bully my way into the front of that. I don't care.
Well, we'll see how it happens. Yeah, because he's doing a bunch of shows. I don't know I know I got like a primetime, like 7 p.m. show, and I don't know if he's doing like a late show that night or not. I have no idea.
Probably.
Toad gave Dave Smith all his fame.
That's right.
Yeah, so I mean that's my take. I think this whole thing's a work. I think it's much like before when they did Skankfest. I think what happened is, here's my theory. My running theory is that Dave wanted to take a break, and he was going to go on tour and do a bunch of traveling and shit. And so he knew that doing the show would be difficult consistently. And so instead of doing it that way, he went to them and said, "Hey, you get to make this into a bit. I get to disappear. You guys get to make this a thing, and then I pop back up at Skankfest, and it's a thing in da-da-da-da." That's what I
He's
think.
definitely going to be, even if he's off the show, he's going to be at Skankfest. But yeah.
Yes, I assume so.
Yeah, Lewis already said like he's like don't worry. That's kind of why I took him more seriously. He's like, don't worry, he's still gonna be at Skankfest. Like
Why would they have him do Skankfest and be on the streams and doing that if it wasn't going to be something tied in?
Because part of the problem is still technically part of Gas Digital.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Well, it's not part of, but right?
Really?
It's like they're like
All right.
because it
I
came
thought he
from
was
or
totally
whatever.
It's
detached
getting
now.
inside baseball, but
Yeah,
what I
whatever.
think the situation really is that part of the problem was started under Gas Digital. So to
Yes.
some degree, Gas Digital
Yes.
probably owns a portion of the rights to the show.
Yes.
So when he made his new contract to stream on his own, he
Yes.
probably has to give them a kickback. But I
Yes,
doubt that there's
exactly.
any like.
So he's still affiliated, but that's why part of the
know.
problem still performs at Skankfest as well. That's why that's what I
Yeah,
assumed would be
I
the
don't know. I just don't. Lewis literally just got done going on an entire rant on Twitter and on his show about how if any one member of the show quit, they would just stop doing the whole show. And then literally 6 months later, he's going on about how now Dave's leaving. I just don't buy it.
I mean, I
My
could
fucking
still
Spidey
see.
senses are
I
right.
can
I could.
I
Still
could see
it
it either
happening. I
way.
could see
I'll
them-
say that.
Yeah, I could see them replace. Like, I think they should. If they replace him, I think they should replace him with Colin Tyrell.
I would love to see. There's
I
a
saw
whole
him
list.
with them, and he was hilarious, dude.
Naeem
Yeah, I
Ali.
think
Naeem
Column.
black guy.
I'm gonna be real. I don't want to see. I love Naeem, but I just don't. I like the.
Bro,
I like
come on.
Column's vibe
Yeah.
and the chemistry that's there with them. I do
Yeah.
like. I've seen Drew Montana tossed around. I like Drew Montana too. He does
Tossed
good on the
around.
show.
Drew too.
That's-
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the other thing that I've
Lewis
heard though,
named, I think, Column, Drew, Naeem, Zach.
yeah. So that was what I was
Some
going to
other-
mention was the person people aren't mentioning that I think is really the person I think most fans want to see is Zach.
Zach.
Zach has been
Zach,
the best
but-
guest on the
Yeah,
show every time he's on. I mean, and he's always been sort of the guy they call in when they
Which
can't
Zach?
find anybody. Zach
Amico.
Amico.
Amico? Well, he's
Uh,
probably gonna die in the next like 2 months. So
Well, listen, he can
Everyone's
do
been saying
what he
that.
does.
But he just keeps living.
I don't know
Keeps
how that
living,
happens,
dude.
but, yeah. Dude, he's
Zach Amico's the Betty White of stand-up comedy.
Zach somehow at this point he's somehow now like 3 times the size of Jay.
Yeah,
He's becoming
Dude,
ethereal.
fucking.
Jay's
Dude.
lost weight.
Can we talk
So
about?
they'll be lined up in like size of weight. It'll be very satisfying visually, you know? Like-
Dude, I got asked by another person today. I walked into this first store today to go look for shirts and stuff. And I'm going to check out and I've got like a black hoodie on and it was zipped up. So like I looked skinnier than usual because I actually was like wearing tight clothes, which I normally don't do.
Yeah, and black is slimming.
Yeah, so I walk in the thrift store and they go, well, I'm down to 235 from like 335. So I look drastically different.
Nice.
And so when I walked in, the girl who works at the thrift store goes like, oh, you lost a ton of fucking weight. Like, and it started talking about that.
Did you ask her out?
No, she asked me whether I was taking Ozempic, whether it was Ozempic. And this is what I get asked now. Dude,
All
at
the time, I bet.
Skankfest, there were multiple people who saw my video where I talked about losing weight in the submissions, and they were like, were you on Ozempic? I'm like, motherfucker, no. Like, this is
I did it the good old fashioned way, motherfucker.
I lost this by not
Starving
drinking
myself.
Diet Soda and making myself hate my existence. Like, I don't know, what do you want from me?
Isn't Ozempic like
I suffered for this, god damn it.
Isn't Ozempic made from like the venom of the Gila monster?
No, but that's kind of cool. Now I want to take Ozempic. What the fuck?
I know.
Anything
I'm like-
fucking
I'm like-
lizard venom?
I'm like,
what
but
the
that's
fuck?
that's natural. What?
If
I mean,
that's true, goddammit, I'm gonna
that's the
feel like
most
I fucked
Spider-Man
myself.
like
Dude,
medicine.
that's really what it is.
I think that's what they
Yeah.
claim that it is.
God damn it!
But it's
I
probably
feel
like
completely ripped off.
it's probably actually like Jew venom or something.
Which reptile did it come from? We don't know.
It's adrenochrome.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Dude,
All right. I
So
guess I'll
Dave
go
Smith
last
is
this week.
Dave Smith is the pick.
I love Dave Smith.
Yeah,
God
dude.
damn it, Dave.
even if he leaves to focus on family, like I don't consider that to be loserish, but because it makes me sad that he's not going to be on Skanks. If that's true,
Yeah.
then I still would say yeah, he's a
Let,
loser.
let me also clarify
making
for
me
this
sad.
pick. For this pick, there's no, I'm not having a rational, logical argument behind it. Just like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God damn it, Dave.
And if Dave ever knew about the existence of this show, maybe he'd see the poll and see that he's on it this week.
Be like, what? I'm a loser. Be
Well,
like,
you know
what? They
what's
hate
part of
me.
this? After 5 years of 5
Toad
years of
hates me?
following the guy, after meeting him on 3 separate occasions,
Yeah.
after being in multiple viral tweets that featured both me and him at the same time, he still doesn't follow me on Twitter, but Louis J. Gomez does. So you know what?
They both
if he
follow
is
me,
leaving,
baby.
I love the guy, but good riddance, motherfucker.
They both follow me, but you have Jay. I don't have Jay, so.
Shout out. Also, the one time Dave retweeted me was 2 years ago on his birthday, when I made a tweet that he mentioned it on Legion of Skanks. He's like, someone made a clever tweet. He's like, everyone talks about how my birthday is on Hitler's birthday, but he's like, what one guy made it good, because I like did a whole thing. I was like, today we commemorate the birth of a man who, it was, started his youth in, a young artist who started his youth in bars and works his way up to become a great leader, and of some controversial but intelligent ideas. Happy birthday, Dave Smith. And so that's the one time he retweeted me, and also Leighton, he didn't follow me, but
A guy who's
that was
constantly called an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
A guy who kills.
A killer constantly accused of anti-Semitism, something like that. Like, despite his opinions on the Jews, or I forget exactly what I said. I have it screenshotted because I was like, I should print that out and frame it.
Oh yeah.
All right, Eldon, you're up.
All right. I was really inspired by Mr. Hands with evergreen picks. I'm going with Casey Anthony.
Yeah, we haven't gone into the true crime realm too much here, but yeah.
Well, no, she's not just. This isn't just a true crime pick. Excuse
True,
me.
yeah.
Casey Anthony is a TikToker now.
What?
Jeez, fucking Eldon here doesn't even know the full story.
That's crazy.
Does
I
she
just-
I don't know, does she get like naked in any way on there?
Unfortunately, no.
What's the interest there?
She's hot.
Oh.
What?
The interest was clear. That was kind of the whole thing about Casey Anthony back
She's
in
got
the
a
day.
killer body, man.
Oh.
By the way, this is a clip of her from her new, from her TikTok.
Yeah,
I
dude,
found
I
it.
don't know if we can consider her to be that much of a loser, just because,
I mean, she did win.
yeah, she let her, daughter die and whatever, which is horrible. But like, she's winning at life right now. She's hot, and like everybody seems to not care. Everybody
Really?
loves her.
Oh, I did not know.
She looks like she'd be like a '90s like singer or something. Like she looks like Alanis Morissette or some shit.
Okay, but hear me out. Casey Anthony didn't come
Alanis
from
murder set.
Casey Anthony didn't come from a ton of money, so she's not rich.
Well, she's from Florida.
My understanding is she's like still working a normal job, and she has to work, from what the interviews were saying, as like a like remote, because she can't like go into the place she works. She didn't change her name, so she can't get any major public job. Like there's no way she's getting paid well. And
She should just
she
change
made a
her name
book.
legally.
She wrote a book and tried to put a book out to make money, and the book actually failed because
was
much
it called
like
If I
OJ
Did It?
Well, no, much like much like O.J. Simpson, though, she got sued and lost the money from the book.
Maybe it was called What
Bro.
Happened.
So
That
she's
sucks.
The coat hanger tails.
she is a loser in the sense that even as somebody who killed her kid and got away with it, she's bad at that.
Yeah. She'd be a hero though if she just had an abortion though. Everybody would call her a
Oh
hero.
god, damn.
You know what? There's some
She did. It was just late term.
Yeah, very late.
there's some distance between the image of her. So she kind of does look like Lana Rhodes from a distance. I can see that now.
Dude, I think the Alanis Morissette reference is the best one I
That's
heard.
what I said. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, I saw Alanis Morissette live like a few years ago.
I did too when I was young. No shit. That's
that would have been
like,
really. I saw her in
that
like
is a lot
2021
closer.
or whatever on the Jagged Little Pill whatever like 15-year tour or whatever. She was
Okay.
she was
and
actually
she
really
go
good.
find
She
you
was awesome.
in a theater.
Yeah, she did. I think she did every song from that album plus like a bunch of other shit. She was really good. Yeah.
I've got an image that I think looks identical to what we were just looking at. Tell me that doesn't look like Casey Anthony. It is very similar. It is to what
Yeah.
we were just looking at to that. It's
Wood.
not far off.
Alanis Morissette is just the Canadian Casey Anthony, all right?
The nice Casey Anthony. She sings.
In China, she didn't break any laws. That's a great god. That is a fucking great line.
Yeah. I do like though that Alanis Morissette, like one of the things she's most famous for is dating Dave Coulier,
Yeah.
Uncle Joey from Full House. Like you dated the least famous, least attractive one of the men on that show. All right.
You got
weird
plowed
uncle.
by the least attractive.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got fucked by the weird uncle. Like,
In a theater.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you were
in a
chosen.
theater.
Do you think when he got a boner, do you think Uncle Joey was like, do you see my wood?
He started making voices with it.
Yeah,
It
well,
even
did you
speaks.
think he had what was the name of the chip? It was a beaver, right? Whatever the
Yeah.
fuck the name of that fucking thing was.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it. Even though I've seen every episode of Full House, I can't remember.
I haven't seen
So,
that show in forever.
My pick is simple. And we're gonna have some honorary picks, I feel, this week, but there's no more than I could bring into this because this is a super sweet moment for me. Because a couple years ago, I covered the election of Brandon Herrera, and I covered it on my YouTube channel. It got a bunch of views. I was really happy to get to talk about something I actually fucking cared about because his election was something I was like, God, this is interesting.
Yes, he is
This
the
is a-
AK guy. Yes.
AK guy, he was super cool. I met him in Florida when I was at Young Americans for Liberty. It was like 35 minutes before he was going up on stage, and he stopped to hang out with me and a group of other people poolside, and just
Hell yeah.
continuously drank out of our spiked container of Hawaiian punch, and then went up to give his speech in front of everybody,
Nice.
where he announced that he was going to be running for office.
So he didn't
And
pull a
then-
Michael Rechtenwald.
No, he did great. It was fucking awesome. And he was super nice and genuine. I've watched his videos for years, so it's cool to meet him. And so I had kind of rooted for him. So when he ran for office, I covered the fact that he took it to a runoff. And it gets to fucking I think he lost by what came out to be 300, 400 votes. So it was super fucking close election. And so I said, I hope he runs again. And he decided ultimately to run again. He announces that he's running again. And then what has happened over the last couple days, which is why my pick for Biggest Loser is Tony Gonzalez, Tony Gonzalez dropped out of the race yesterday.
Even though
And is
this
no
was going to
longer
go to
running.
a runoff, right? It was going to go to a runoff.
It
and
was going to go to a runoff.
Tony
So,
Gonzalez thought that he wasn't going to win with all that Israel money.
well, so a couple things play into this whole deal. So the first thing was polling showed Herrera about performing somewhere in the ballpark of 10 to 20% better than he was the last time around, which meant that no matter what, I think he was going to win this. He was going to win in the runoff, and he was going to get the pick. But what happened as a result is because it was going to be close no matter what, and Gonzalez had this whole press thing, because what has gone on is, and this is something I talked about early on, but it wasn't really known the whole details. Tony Gonzalez had an employee for him, right? This employee and him were carrying on an affair. They were fucking each other behind
Is it a
closed
dude
doors.
or a chick?
Chick. Actually, pretty attractive chick too. But the chick
Oh.
was married. So wait,
He
dude,
doesn't sound like that much of a loser.
wait, Toad, do you not know about this story?
I
No,
just
I
thought
don't.
about this too.
Okay, your
I just
brain
know-
is about to
I
explode
just
when
know
you
that
hear where this
Herrera-
goes.
One might say it
Herrera,
could
he
bust.
Oh my
follows-
god.
He follows
So-
me, but he might unfollow me because I asked him if he can guarantee that he won't take any Israel money.
He's not going to. He's already
Good.
said that.
Yes.
So Tony Gonzalez is the guy he was running against. Tony Gonzalez just got in trouble. The reason he dropped out and the reason he left is because of the scandal that just broke. Not really broke, but he just had to confirm publicly. That scandal consists of a public affair. He had to admit to having an affair with this staffer / secretary of his and everything, and said, yeah, I was fucking this chick on the side.
Was she a Chinese spy?
No, all these text messages got leaked of their messages.
Did say
of
she was
him,
attractive.
all this stuff. Well, what goes on shortly thereafter is a while back when this story broke originally and this whole thing happened, the reason it happened is because she self-immolated herself.
What?
She burnt herself alive.
Is she dead?
So she went to her house,
She dead.
was on, yes, she's very much dead.
Did she do it, as a protest against Israel?
Well, seemingly she did it as a protest against fucking Tony Gonzalez, which is
Oh, I did remember seeing this in the news
Or
somewhere.
was it
I
against
didn't
Brandon Herrera?
remember the name, but I do remember.
in fact, this goes deeper even further. Brandon Herrera is now in contact and has gotten, this is why this was all made public, was in contact with that woman's husband, the guy that she was cheating on with fucking Tony Gonzalez. So this guy's coming forward and saying, no, they were cheating, and I have all the text messages because I have her phone.
She killed herself because the affair was being exposed?
Yes,
And she did it by
most
lighting herself
likely,
on
allegedly.
fire.
I mean, I don't, with all the fucking
Holy
precursors.
fucking shit. Maybe it was a metaphor, like, she got like an STD from it or something. Like, my vagina's on fire.
Well, so
I'm gonna
here's
light-
what's even more
I'm
like,
gonna light
this
my
was
whole body on fire.
Apparently, her self-immolating was all on camera because she had a backyard, like, camera running, like, security camera
Roll the footage.
and all this shit. Jesus Christ.
Jamie, pull it up.
Roll that beautiful self-immolation.
Oh,
footage.
okay. And she was on the phone with him. Yeah, and I do remember hearing that.
Roll that beautiful burn footage.
She was on the phone while she burnt herself.
With
Yeah,
her
so anyway,
husband.
wild fucking situation. Tony Gonzalez is outed for this a while back and has now admitted to this affair with the woman who self-immolated. And then Brandon Herrera goes on Twitter and fucking goes on top of it to bury the fucking hatchet even deeper in this little dude's head. Goes
I
on
thought you said
Twitter.
bury the hatchet.
No,
I
he
was like,
goes
why would
on
he make
Twitter.
up with him?
He goes on Twitter and goes, oh, by the way, you had an affair with other people too, and I know that. Are you going to talk about that as well? So Herrera must know about other affairs that took place
Oh.
with other people even further than this.
She
So this
could be a
Tony
loser, too,
Gonzalez
by the way.
guy,
They're all
this
losers.
dude fucked up. And Herrera, by the way, is one of the few guys that's run for office other than Massey and Rand Paul that I'll root for because regardless of his party affiliation, I had conversations with him and I've seen him talk publicly enough to know that for the most part, I trust him to make a decent decision. Like, he seems to have his head on straight,
Yeah.
He used to be a boogaloo guy, kind of like, in that world. So
That doesn't make me trust him. So
well, trust him in the sense
like,
of
you
not,
want me to trust Magnus? Somebody like that?
Oh, Jesus. Not boogaloo in that sense. Boogaloo in the sense that he would share the memes and sort of joke about it.
He
and
wasn't
stuff,
like wearing a Hawaiian shirt and flying the pride flag? All right.
No, none of that.
Fucking dudes. All right.
So, one of my
I share the
honorary...
memes, but I never fucked any
Oh.
dudes, by the way.
Oh,
Just
good.
also
Wait,
I want to, along with the anime stuff, I want that on record.
That's all right. I don't know if I believe.
Not a pedophile, not fuck dudes,
So wait, which one of them is really the biggest loser here? Gonzalez, his wife, or
Biggest
Gon-
loser is Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, the chick, or her husband? I mean, is what I meant to say. They're all
No,
losers.
biggest loser in the whole thing is Gonzalez because he lost the most, surprisingly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
chick lost her own life, which is everything, but also
I mean, the
she's
husband's
gone.
fate goes on to fuck another
I was
day.
about to say,
So
the husband just kind of like burnt that bridge. No pun
Yeah, he's
intended.
like, fuck that shit.
the husband, I
Fuck
don't
her,
know.
fuck you.
He's definitely a loser in this though, because he was like getting cocked pretty much.
Well, no, but he's a winner because now he's weaponizing the information with the.
Well, he's
Yeah.
the contact for
Shut up.
Brandon Herrera.
I love
his
that's
opposition.
the first fucking, the first comment I notice of Indians is bros who fucks dudes confirmed.
Yes.
No, I don't. God damn it.
All right, who's the honorary loser? And then we need Eldon's as well.
What?
Eldon picked one. He
Oh,
picked Casey Anthony.
Oh wait, you went
Anthony.
That was
Casey
Casey
Anthony.
Anthony.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
My honorary one is going to be Eye Patch McCain.
Dan Crenshaw.
Dan Crenshaw.
Oh. I thought we were gonna go with Homo McCain this time because he's a huge loser right now.
Who's Homo McCain? God damn it.
Lindsey Graham.
Oh god damn it. Lindsey Graham has been putting his foot in it.
Bro, or Jared
was-
Kushner, Trump going, yeah, I didn't get into this war because I got good military information. Basically, Jared Kushner said it was a good idea.
Graham is
Dan
gonna be
Crenshaw made all these fucking media appearances and he tried to keep his head above water.
Yeah.
Tried to make himself appear like a valid kind of person in the space. He got BTFO'd by Tucker Carlson, and I think that was the thing that started off the downward spiral. When he went
feel
after Tucker and that kind of started it all.
I think he's been nominated already on the show before, but I mean, I'm fine with nominating him again. Plus, he's also a loser of eyes.
Yes. Yeah. What was the other pick you had? You had another pick that you mentioned. What was it?
Lindsey Graham, just because he,
Oh, right.
well, he's out there right now, dude. He's losing the MAGA base. Like,
Yeah,
he's promoting war in such a way that he's like, we're sending all of your,
I'm gonna try to
everybody's-
find a clip. There's
Oh,
some
fine.
great
We're
clips.
sending everyone to die for Israel.
find the
That's
clip.
like his fucking.
Yeah, if you want to find one real quick, just send it to me in the private chat. I'll play it. Because yeah, he's been going around, man. I saw a clip of him talking about like if we
I
have
found
to
it
sacrifice.
already. If you search for Lindsey Graham, it's the
I
first
figured it'd be
result.
quick. Yeah.
It's the first result on Twitter. So he said this, and even the
Yeah, we'll do him as the fucking.
even the Zionists, like pro-war people, are all against him now because what he said was so disgusting that even they're turning on it. He's actually maybe he's a winner because he's making the right anti-war.
Like to our allies step up.
By the way, shout out to Scott Horton today on Piers Morgan. That was a great episode.
This guy, he's also a loser of anal virginity, by the way.
Yeah, Google Lindsey Graham Ladybug. Thank me later.
To our allies step up. Get our air bases out of Spain. They're not reliable. Move all those airplanes to a country that would let us use them when we're threatened by a regime like Iran. To our friends in Spain, man, you have lost your way. I don't want to do business with you anymore. I want our air bases out of Spain into a country that will let us use them. To our Arab friends, I've tried to help you construct a new Mideast. You need to up your game here. I can't go to South Carolina and say we're fighting and you won't publicly fight. What you're doing behind the scenes, that has to stop. The double dealing of the Arab world when it comes to this stuff needs to end. I go back to South Carolina. I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast. What I want you to do in the Mideast, to our friends in Saudi Arabia and other places, step forward and say, this is my fight too. I join America. I'm publicly involved in bringing this regime down. If you don't, you're making a great mistake and you're going to cut off the ability to have a better relationship with the United States. I say this as a friend. To our allies, step up.
Yes,
I see this as an openly homosexual man.
I say this because I have so much cum dripping out of my asshole right now that it's nearly impossible for me to get through my words. But it's just so sad of me to hear that all this comes.
I say this because there is currently silicone touching my larynx.
He did also drop another admission. I just put it in the private chat. He dropped a very serious admission as well these past few days as well. Lindsey Graham admitted that we're doing this at the behest of Israel. He said it out loud.
Oh, this is the clip I saw. I know this clip. Yeah, this is fucking. Yeah,
So
this is a good one.
He's a loser of the MAGA base.
Yeah, this is a
Sick.
banger for sure. You can't you talk about saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
All right, 1 second. Got it here. Boppity boopity. Yep.
All the anti-Seminites to all the isolationists.
Semnites.
The anti-Seminites. I gotta
Anti-Semite. He's
All the
not an
ISIL.
anti-Semitite.
I gotta replay that. That's great.
All the anti-Seminites to all the isolationists. I don't believe.
To all the
Forget it.
anti-Seminites.
I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump, who I think is Ronald Reagan plus.
All glory
plus.
to Israel.
All
Heil
the
Netanyahu.
anti-Seminites to all the isolationists.
Heil Netanyahu.
Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with
That's
Israel.
a
I'll be
t-shirt.
with Israel
To all
till
the
our dying day.
anti-Seminites,
They're
how
the best
dare you
ally
be
we could
opposed
hope
to a
for. So
dude's
we have a
cum in your
commander-in-chief in
face?
President Trump, who I think is
I will
Ronald
die for
Reagan
Israel.
plus-
I mean,
plus
not
plus.
personally. I will definitely get railed down there in their gay little bomb shelters that they have down there. I love those gay little raves they have down there. You seen that? Yeah, I would love to get my ass blown the fuck out inside of a gay Israeli bomb shelter rave.
Yeah. I love going to Tel Aviv. It's the
I
most
love-
gay city on earth.
We need to protect Israel. I've had the most gay sex in Tel Aviv, the most incredible gay sex you will not believe, and we need to preserve that in our relationship with Israel in order for me to get my ass blown out.
You have not lived till you've been face to ass with a shaved Arab boy.
They have white sex slaves there. You don't understand.
You know what they do to Christians? Good Christians turned out like faggots.
Yeah, we have conscripted. Israel has conscripted half of the Ukrainian military into gay sex orgies. You can now get a Ukrainian wife and a Ukrainian boy sex slave. We need to preserve our relationship with Israel.
Time.
You get a wife that you pretend to love, and in real life, she's getting railed out by some black dude, while you're also getting railed out by some black dude.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday, Indian.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, idiot!
Have a shaved Arab on us.
You share a birthday with Drew Montana and fucking someone else I saw. Anyways,
I don't know. There are a few birthdays out there on Twitter today.
yeah.
Yes. Well, I think we've got some great picks there this week. We've got a solid list. I love fucking Mitch McConnell or Lindsey Graham rather, as a backup. As a backup was a great choice.
There you go. He was my backup. Yes.
Yeah, we'll put that on. We'll put that on the list for sure. Have we missed anything in the news that we haven't talked about? Turbans back on the menu. This whole Iran shit. This is fucking crazy. Does anybody think this is gonna end anytime soon? I know that seems to be the
No.
vibe a lot of Republicans are running with. That seems retarded to me. I don't think this is gonna end anytime soon.
Trump was saying it is, but I doubt it.
The narrative that I hear going around, that not that I'm hearing people say necessarily, but more that I hear is being pushed by military officials, is that this is kind of they're seeing it as a fulfillment of prophecy, And,
well, I mean,
and I'm like, it's obviously all construed. Also,
you guys hear Chris Webby's new song? This is a fucking off the wall thing to bring up, but it's pressing because
I don't know.
Yeah, the reason I bring him up is because he has a new song out called Raw Thoughts. Go listen to it, everybody on this YouTube channel. Go check it out. Just was put out a few days ago. Worth listening to. Basically, you know, I think a lot of what people are seeing now with this and why this is hitting the mainstream and the like the polls and stuff with Palestine and Israel and all these opinions that get brought up in the midst of everything. We're in like not a political battle. Everybody who thinks this is left or right or progressive versus conservative or all these different things anymore, I think that's completely sideways.
No, it's
And we're not in some like
spiritual.
I do legitimately think it is some form of spiritual battle in a way, like legitimately, not necessarily religious either. There's all the Catholics and the Christians and the dogmatic folks on all sides of the fence that'll tell you that spirituality has to mean religiosity, but I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you, I think it's much more, you know, you talk about the Jews and everybody brings that up, and I can paint that much more of a picture of kind of old world Kabbalism and these things that are taking hold than you have things from the Christian dogma and things like that, and all these different religions baked into political views, and they're all kind of vying for whoever has the most power in the modern structure that has been built up through progressivism. So I think this is all evident of that. I think this is all runoff. In a way. So I don't think it's super intellectual to like, I don't know, look at it as like a fun thing. I just look at it as we're on a fucking downward spiral that's not going to end. I don't think this is
Yeah.
going to. I think the Iran shit is the tip of the fucking iceberg. I think Bill Cooper was right about everything he put in Behold a Pale Horse. And all these people that came after him, Alex Jones, all the rest of those fucking cocksuckers who pretend like they have your best interest in heart, they're reaching their hands in your fucking wallet. Go listen to the people who didn't do that. The people that came before them that they based their whole existence off of, and you'll have a much better worldview on how this shit is going.
Yeah. Or I grew up reading the Bible too, so you know, like, and not, you know, like actually, you know, somebody, oh, like I read the Bible. No, you know, like I read it the whole thing before I think the Book of Mormon before I was 8, but then
I
the
was gonna say
Bible,
the
you know,
Mormon Bible though.
yeah, well, no, but also, but then the Bible, I think I didn't get the whole thing done before I was 8 years old. I was like 8 and a few months old, but like, you know, and then I read them again, you know, like, and so it's, you know, just hearing some of the things that, like, you know, especially that also because then some classes like, hell yeah. But yeah, some classes at like at BYU, for example, you know, some of the religion classes went into the, you know, like the Hebrew meaning of words, you know, and then when, for example, well, in the Old Testament when it was written in Hebrew, and then in the New Testament when things were written in Greek, etc., whatever. But you know, went into the etymology, and then, you know, somewhat into like, you know, it didn't get super into the gematria and stuff like that, but it was like, hey, this also exists, by the way, you know, and then you for specific things kind of, you know, showing us, which some people like me, then I'm like, all right, okay, you know, that puts me down more rabbit holes, but it's very funny, like, especially because I saw the signs years ago when I saw stuff them like some you know, Israeli publications, religious publications, specifically talking about like rebuilding the third temple and like kind of, you know, like, you know, accelerating that, and then past that also, like, I don't know, because in with, you know, growing up Mormon, but then also kind of seeing the difference in religions between Catholics, you know, Mormons, other Protestants and stuff like that. It is crazy how much of a percentage of like American Protestants, you know, are very much like doomsday minded, you know, like with Mormons, it's more like if shit happens, then we'll be prepared. But, you know,
There you go, Drew.
But
You're on to what I'm cooking with.
yeah, I mean,
That's
it
what
is.
my mind is too. I don't buy into this religion horse shit the way that most of these people do either.
But you got to see the signs to, you know, see the, you know, the, and that's like, you know, growing up Mormon and then like, you know, leaving it and then seeing it from the third party. It's like, you can still, it's like, wow, okay, now I'm really seeing the machinations of how, you know, on a larger scale, you know, like not just the micro scale, you know, because, you know, technically, you know, you know, but people say, oh, religion's good for you. Yeah, if you follow a thing that has a lot of structure and it says stay away from things that are detrimental to your health in general and more things that are more positive and that fosters community, yeah, that's kind of exactly, that's just an autistic way of explaining, having friends, and living a healthy life, and it just so happens that white people are very like autistically minded. So, it makes sense that religion would work for a lot of white people. At the same time, then you have these intricate systems of control, and I mean, with Jews you have like the for in the modern day, Talmudic minded, it's the interpretation, it's rabbinical Judaism, it's the interpretation of the rabbis. So even though they'll say, oh, we don't have a central leader, like they have the Pope, but there's still an appeal to the learned men who because if anyone that's not a rabbi says anything about the Talmud, they'll be like, no, you don't understand. You have to study it for thousands of years in order to understand it. And
I'm
it's
going to
like,
go deep for just a moment on
Yeah.
religious stuff, because this is something I never get a chance to talk about, because I don't do religious talk really ever on shows. It's just not something I've ever covered a ton. But
Oh,
I mean, my
yes.
point of view is
I've
that,
spent
like,
decades.
yeah, like my point of view and my grandmother and my whole family, I grew up like hearing and talking about all this stuff, so it is something I genuinely have an interest in. But like, my point of view on like religion as a whole is that, like, and Huntley talks about this in the chat, Drew stopped using magic long ago but never stopped studying. Basically, my point of view is what a lot of pagans and people in the modern era that are connected to like the witch covens and bullshit that gets all this media attention, even though it's all horseshit, gets. But there is some truth to what they talk about, which is that vast quantities of Christianity were based on clericism and paganism that predated it, and that a giant chunk of what a lot of these Christian people and Catholic people are following as a greater Christian religion or greater Catholic religion is basically a version of their faith they created to remove pagans from the argument and from the debate. I think magic and unexplainable things play a much larger role in the greater religious world that we live in than people will ever give it credit for on the Christian side, because on the Christian and Catholic side and Mormon side, really all these sides, they've all been bred into whatever the church dogma is, and the church dogma can't have things like what the pagans believe in or occultists believed in, because those things are so far removed from those religious dogmas that they would break their structure that they have built around their cage that they have put over the people in those religions. And so the problem I have with organized faith as a whole is that it stifles people ever actually learning more about the faith and learning more about what humanity is. And I think that's why science and atheism became so strong and got so many people convinced, is because they offered the chase, the ability for you to keep discovering new things and eventually to know the truth, whatever that truth is. And that's gone out of religion. It doesn't exist in modern Catholicism. It doesn't exist in Christianity or Judaism, for that matter, or the Muslims. The Muslims are growing faster than anybody right now for good reason. It's because they have allowed a certain mystery to come with their religion. They have a certain ability for you to become a Muslim and keep learning new things about being a Muslim. That doesn't exist in all the other religions. It's kind of died off. And so that's why they're able to gain their stronghold. That and immigration patterns, but whatever.
Maybe that's also why Mormons, they're not growing like crazy, but they're still growing relatively.
The Mormons need to do what the Amish did. It's about being smart. It's about being almost isolationist and creating little micro communities.
Yeah, but see, the modern Mormon church is very much.
They don't want to do the opposite. They want to spread out. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's the problem, is when you do that, you spread yourself too thin. You make it difficult to maintain.
Yep. The way I see religion is most of them are cults, because a cult gets big enough, it becomes a religion. That's kind of
I think
how
that's
shit
a
works.
word that's not used properly, though. So that's sort of my point. It's like cult is like
Well, no,
It's not a bad thing.
No. I think cults.
Yeah.
I think the purpose of a cult is to create a placebo effect to make you feel better about yourself, or give you purpose, give you direction in a place where you're usually not.
Make you comfortable.
That's typically what happens. Is people that fall into cults are doing really poorly. They want some sort of direction. They want some sort of validation for what they went through. There's a chance of hope of getting better or something of that nature. They want to product something to a cohesive society or something like that, where it is just a placebo effect. Mind control, I guess, would be similar. It's just programming of like, this is how you can make yourself feel good, and that's what all of them do individually, because like you have different gods from Greeks, Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, to Hindi, like Kali, with 4 different heads, different arms. It doesn't matter your deity. You're all pursuing the sense of purpose. I feel.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
And
kinda
the and this and then and the lack of the sense of purpose. That's almost why I feel like almost an implicit influence in the war. It's like this land was promised to us. It's like they're forcing the importance of it.
Yeah.
They're like, see, it was promised to, and see, we're doing, and it's great because remember the Holocaust. Remember the Holocaust. We're doing this, and it's good because we have our land now. And also another thing: no Jewish kingdom has ever lasted longer than 80 years, technically. So that's I think another reason why they're doing this big push right now is because, again, with maybe some people taking things too seriously, and again pushing the importance to be like, no, this is gonna stay this time, and so seeing that on the world scale, it's like, oh, they're taking it that seriously.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've kind of covered the gambit tonight. We've gone over a ton of cool stuff.
This has been like some weird mix of like Nephilim Death Squad and
Hey man, I'm all here for it.
Tower Gang. I don't know.
It's been fun. We've had funny shit. We've had religion shit. We've had cats.
Pussy.
We've
right on
tried
the
to sell
show.
pressure cookers. We've had a bit of a show tonight.
Oh, yeah. Watch out for
I haven't
that.
listed the pressure cookers. Hit me up if you do want it though.
Yeah, so speaking of which, you can be followed at BrosisSmith420 at Twitter, but go ahead and give out your eBay.
Oh yeah, it's also BrosisSmith420, and check it out. I have these are things that I have yet to list. I've got a Swarovski crystal gold-plated chain.
Is it
crystal? Yeah.
It's not gold. It's gold-plated, but it's a nice gold-plated Swarovski, and vintage.
Sounds Jewish.
Yeah, probably
Russian, but probably somewhere.
I am Jew-maxing right now. I'm reselling jewelry. But yeah, all vintage shit. Yeah, red coral, dude. We got some Chinese shit. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, you can't really see it. Oh, hello. I'm a Raffin Buddha. And then you got a Native American looking guy. I have not taken his cranial measurements. I don't know exactly what race he is, but I'm assuming Native American. And then more Chinese. Anyways, yeah, check out my eBay. Got jewelry and other shit, but that's what I'm pushing right now. I got a lot of it.
And
It's also
Toad, you're
Brosis
next.
420.
Oh, Brosis says 420.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Toad, you're up.
Yeah. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Learn to Toad everywhere. Learn to Toad on Instagram. Toadstool Sports is my YouTube. Sports gambling every day. Degeneracy. We're going. We're all gonna die together. On that show. It's on audio as well. Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube. We got that as well. Patreon.com/LearnToToad. It's all on my link tree. It's on my Twitter, so you can find it.
Awesome. All right, great. And Eldon.
Zinus Dominus on X, Twitter. That's about it.
Go follow Elton, help him make this algorithm proper because he gets dog shit video recommendation. And then yeah, myself is outlawthoughts.com for the main my channel. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Liberty Layton. Gonna be doing some interesting stuff. I can kind of say, at least now, what I am working on in the short term is a custom watch that will be Skankfest themed, that will be coming out in the next few weeks to a month, somewhere in that range. We're waiting on the first samples to arrive. I'll be assembling a watch, taking photos of that one, getting secondary parts ordered, all that kind of jazz. But I want to get the first one put together and get photos of it, get a concept so people know what it is. Yes, it's going to be basically a mod watch. So it's going to be an NH35 Seiko movement, Japanese movement, automatic watch, real watch. It's going to be nice. I'm going to order cases for them and see-through backs and nice stainless steel bracelets or leather bracelets. I should be able to order both options, and it will have
With
its
a
own little box and everything.
giant swastika on the dial.
Hey man, I can make some crazy. If you want something wild,
A Son and Rad Legion of Skanks logo. Be like, Lewis, isn't this cool?
all right. Well,
This is
with
the great
that,
representation.
yes, I will update everybody as that stuff moves forward. I do have a dial design already done. I'm not going to put it out on the internet publicly yet because, frankly, I just don't want people to see it yet. But that's coming. The people I need to get opinions on it have seen it. So, yes,
Hell yeah.
that'll be coming soon. But I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.